Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, you know it's not the Mii Fighters. We're ranking serious contributions to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers. I am not joined by my co-host Mark Mitchell today, but that's only momentarily. We recorded bumpers for this episode together. We don't know what happened to them. They disappeared. You're stuck with just me, but only for a second. Real soon, we're going to get into our conversation about which franchise contributes the most to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's got me. It's got Mark. It's got our special guest, Matt Acevedo. It's a great conversation. Stick around for it. But before we jump into that, you want to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces. Here's the thing. I don't think I can say our email address without Mark here. It feels wrong, doesn't it? I'm not going to do it. If you want to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces, you need to email us. What's our email address? You know it. Okay, so I'm going to think it and you at home say it. Okay, you did it, right? You did it. You did the whole thing. You can borrow my copy of Sonic Forces. I send it to you. You send it back. It's great. Doesn't cost you anything. All right. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's get into our definitive ranking of what franchise contributes the most to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We are joined today by comedian and Nintendo fanboy, Matt Acevedo.
Hello.
Matt, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. I haven't been able to talk Nintendo with people like this in forever, so I'm so excited.
What do you mean people like this?
Well, people who are passionate about Nintendo product as well.
Nerds, capital N, nerds.
Yeah. Well, you've come to the right place because we have an impossible task ahead of us.
All right.
I thought this would be something that would be easy for us to do.
Breezy, fun.
Yeah, that's right. We are going to be determining, with your help, listeners, the Smash. No, I don't even know. How do we set this up? Help me out here, Mark.
We're going to be determining which franchise that's represented in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has the best contribution.
The
to
biggest
Smash Brothers.
influence, basically.
Yeah, the biggest,
All right.
biggest influence, best influence.
And that's only in Ultimate.
We're talking Ultimate specifically.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Cool. That's a whole nother bag of, tricks that we got to go down. We want to do everything. That's like terrifying to look at.
Yeah, well, and it's right. Whoa. I don't know how we would do it. It would be too much. Now, how have the two of you been approaching, thinking about this as we've gotten close? Are you just I'm going to let the spirit move me when we get there? How are you coming into this?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like through experience, I kind of have a feeling I know. I just think I know, and I'm ready to discuss. And in discussion, maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
But I feel like I know who has the biggest influence.
Right. You arrived here today saying, I think I know.
Yeah, you guys, I was like, oh, I know that. I know, I know what the answer is. So.
And Mark?
Similarly, I have been thinking about this a lot, and there were moments where it was overwhelming. I was like, I can't think about this anymore.
Right.
I'm just going to have to figure it out on the fly. But I came here tonight with an idea of the one I'm kind of angling for.
Yes.
But it's all up for grabs.
I agree that there is a lot up for grabs here. I think maybe the top 5-ish spots are probably bespoke, right? That they're probably, I think we're going to land on a couple of the same answers over and over again for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for me, I think where it's going to get real juicy are going to be the top 10, right?
Ooh, yeah.
I think we're going to have some fights in there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just excited for that.
I know, it's true. I think the upper echelon is maybe a little bit easier to define. I think it gets real murky when you, like you were saying, when you get below that top 5.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I totally agree. It's
Okay.
close.
So I think we need to establish some ground rules first.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are some gray areas as far as what is and is not a franchise, right? So let's all agree on terms first. The first term I would like to debate Is Yoshi its own franchise, or is Yoshi a member of the Mario franchise?
Ooh, coming into this, I consider Yoshi part of the Mario franchise. Super Mario World 2,
Yeah.
it's a Mario game. It's the sequel to Super Mario. I mean, granted, Super Mario World. Granted, there are, he has his own games, Yoshi's Story, and
Mm-hmm.
he's got the Yoshi Woolly World and stuff. But going into this, I was like, I didn't even think about making him his own thing.
Yeah.
So to me, just me coming into this, to even think, I put Wario in his own category. I didn't put Yoshi in his own category.
That'll be the next thing we have to decide.
Well, okay, so my argument for it having Yoshi be a separate series
Yes.
is that to my mind, many of the stages and things that are represented in Smash Brothers didn't necessarily come from Super Mario World 2.
Yeah.
They came from like later games or were more influenced by like the later Yoshi
Sure.
games.
There isn't there a maybe that's Yoshi's Story that we're seeing that world from that
is
the
the
stage.
That's from Yoshi's Story.
Yeah,
The
okay.
fruit tree, the fruit
Yeah,
tree.
whatever it is.
The
The Yoshis love it.
yeah, it's like they're harding
The happy tree.
There we go.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Very good, Mark. So I will back the play if we think Yoshi needs to go into a separate franchise.
But
Yeah.
that being said, he is a foundational character for Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think outside of just the levels. What else is only in Yoshi games?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Technically Yoshi does have his own music category in Smash
Yeah.
Ultimate.
And that music is awesome because it's all sung by Yoshis
Yeah.
who can barely carry a tune.
Adorable.
Yeah. Well, so I guess that's Yoshi is a foundational member of like the Mario team. He plays in Super Smash Brothers like a Yoshi character and not like a Mario character. He throws eggs. He rolls around in an egg, which I guess is not really like any Yoshi game, but also not like any Mario game. But like the egg throwing to me feels very specific to
The mechanics from
Mhm.
Yoshi's Story and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I guess to me it's kind of like does Mario deserve a bigger like more contenders in his category? Like,
That's right. I mean, that's a great
That's
point.
true.
Is that Mario is already going to be Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Bowser Jr.
Bowser,
Yeah,
all the Koopa kids, like yeah.
the Piranha Plant eventually. Okay.
Okay, so Yoshi separate.
So and I
I'm
think,
down.
I
I'm down
think-
for that.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So I think by the transitive property, Wario is also
Separate.
separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, does Wario represent the Wario Land series or the WarioWare series?
Ooh, I think he represents the WarioWare series. It's like that Wario. He even like
That's a
moves
good
and
point.
talks like him.
He's wearing the jacket.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mark?
Are there multiple WarioWare levels? I'm the levels are my crutch here, people. Are there multiple WarioWare levels?
I think it's good that we're
Let's
we're going into the
It's
stages. 'Cause
facts. That's
Uh-huh.
what we are trying to base this on.
I don't know if everyone knows, but there's a list right in front of us.
Oh yeah, we should set the stage here. Well,
Oh, sure.
Well, Mark is
Yeah,
looking
please.
this up.
Uh-huh.
So we have, our printed out emails from you, our listeners, which we will get to. Thank you, everyone, for writing in. We have some spreadsheets with the characters and what franchises they belong to, and the stages and what franchises they belong to. We also have a slew of amiibo on my kitchen counter that each represent
Over 30.
over 30.
It's gorgeous. I walked in and I was just like, I felt like a little kid in a candy shop. I was like,
It really is
"Oh."
beautiful.
Yeah, it is something to behold. I agree. One representing each of the franchises, and I did pull aside a Yoshi and a Wario to represent Yoshi and Wario. Should
Because
those
in your
be
heart,
necessary?
You knew it
Yes.
was true. Okay, so Wario has 2 stages. One is called Gamer, and the other one is called WarioWare Inc. I think it's fair to say that as far as stages are concerned, he's WarioWare Wario.
Yeah, that's a good one. The gamer one is from the like WarioWare minigame where you are playing games, but you have to stop playing them when like the character's
kid
mom
walks in, yeah.
yeah we're
It's like, oh no, I'm not
"Oh,
doing
no,
anything.
I'm not supposed to be staying up late playing games.
And if she sees you, the stare of death.
No! That is the scariest.
It
It's
is.
so scary.
That's pretty terrifying. I forgot about that level.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I don't really think this is up for debate, but let's talk about it anyway. Donkey Kong is its own series. It's not like an offshoot of Mario.
Absolutely. It's
okay.
definitely its own series.
But I think it's good to lay these ground rules because I have a feeling that when it gets down to it, we're going to want to like put them in different places to try to weight things one way or the other.
Yeah.
And we have a gentleman's agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
For Donkey Kong, because it will come down to it, I think. The original Donkey Kong arcade game, Mario or Donkey Kong game, like the level. Are we considering that?
Kong
Oh.
is my feeling is Donkey Kong.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we're saying that like the Donkey Kong games and Donkey Kong Country, those are for our purposes all part of one big series.
I mean, the game is called Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
That's a great
That's
point.
fair.
That's a great point.
Let's give it to Mario.
It's a Mega Man game. Okay, on that topic, are there any other
How do we
distinctions
wanna
that we
count
need to
the
make?
Mii's?
So I was thinking that we would actually count the Mii's and the Wii Fit trainer together because they're all part of like
The
the
Wii.
Wii branding.
Oh, but I feel like they're such different things. Like I don't associate Mii's with Wii Fit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I also don't associate them together. I think they're their own entity, but
Okay.
but I think they would have a more of a fair chance if they were together. Because what else do they got?
What if we
Actually,
do this?
there is a lot of me stuff.
There's a
There's
ton
a
of
lot
Mii
of Mii
stuff.
stuff.
There's a ton of me content. And maybe we can lump them in with just like system stuff. So
Yeah.
like the PictoChat stage, we can like say that that's part of theirs because it's, just like this is baked into the system. It's
Yeah.
just part of a DS. Making Mii's is just part of having a Wii.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man, I'm glad they kept that on the Switch.
Okay, well then we need an amiibo representing Mii's. Let me go get something. You guys talk while I get something.
Yeah, I hope you guys are you guys gonna take a picture of all of this
I
beautiful.
think yeah, we have to for
It's
sure.
just, and that's not even all of it. Like he has got a collection. Like I don't think Pierre Schneider from IGN has a collection this big. This is incredible.
It really, really is beautiful.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Patrick to choose an amiibo, why don't I read some listener mail?
All right.
So we got a message from Isaac, and he says, "Here's my tiers for Smash ranking. Number 5, the Punch-Out series. Little Mac is such a milestone in history of Nintendo, which definitely is portrayed in Smash series. 4, Metroid series. Speaks for itself, especially since Ridley is in there now. Great point.
Yeah.
Xenoblade series. Even though only Shulk is the only one in there, I love those games so much, and I hope to see Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I believe, come soon.
Well, you can see him as me.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
true.
Costumes? Are we counting me costumes? 2,
Oh
Zelda
my God,
series.
wait, does that count as a me contribution or as a Xenoblade contribution?
I mean, these are the questions we have been tasked with by ourselves.
You're right.
with answering. Zelda series. So many dope characters, so many memories. Great point. Number 1 is the Mario series. Traditional, classic, retro. You can't go wrong, man.
Oh, interesting list. Interesting.
It's it is strange to me how high on that list Xenoblade is.
Me
Are,
too.
are you a Xenoblade guy, Matt?
I'm like still playing through 2. I'm like halfway through it. Like I went through the change and stuff like that. But it's
Menopause?
I went through the change. Hey guys. No, but I think that I'm not like too big of a I wouldn't put it that high personally. I think it's a great game. I don't think it has that big of an impact.
Yeah, on this
Smash.
series.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like is so interesting about these the listener lists, and I wonder if we will end up feeling the same way, is that with Smash Brothers, because there are so many different franchises represented and so many beloved franchises,
Yeah.
Who you choose or like which characters you enjoy can really vary a ton. Like which ones are the most important to you are going to depend on kind of
Yeah.
on like which franchises you feel the strongest about.
Yeah, I'm coming in unbiased as much as possible because, well, I guess it's easy because I love all these franchises.
Right.
But I do think I know, in my opinion, I think is the most. But we'll get there.
Okay,
Yeah.
one more point of order before
Yes,
we
yes, thank you.
really dive into this is we're all in agreement that this list is definitive. It is going on our definitive ranking.
Yes, absolutely. So, Matt, if you haven't kept up, whenever we make a list, we declare that it is a definitive list. Other people may disagree with it, but
They're wrong.
They're wrong. What we arrived at is empirically correct.
Yeah.
And then we have in the past gone back and rendered some of our lists non-definitive. This one will be definitive. It will at least start its life as definitive. We may go back and revise it later, but today we are creating a definitive list.
I'm so excited. And I can't. We're gonna be here for hours. I'm very excited. I'm down. I'm so into this.
No, we got it.
Okay. So maybe a good place to start is if there's ones that we just want to strike out of contention
Oh, that's a good point.
immediately.
You mean
Yeah.
just as so? Are we actually? We set out to rank all of these. Are we going to make one continuous ranking, or are we going to?
I think we need to separate the chaff.
Sure.
And then if we come up with like a top 15 or a
Mhm.
top 10, I
Yeah.
think that is
then sort in that.
yeah.
Okay, so what do we think here is the bottom of the barrel? Least contributions, least exciting contributions. Anyone have
I
a
would
franchise they want to
say-
put forward?
I'm gonna say Rob.
I was just about to say Rob, Matt. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
So the Gyromite, right? Is
Yeah.
that the game then? Yeah. So Gyromite, I would agree. Let's take him off the board.
Also, who likes fighting against Rob?
Fighting
Yeah,
against Rob?
He's terrible. I hate when
hate
somebody
playing him.
else uses him. I hate when the computer's playing him. I just want that guy out of there.
What's he doing here?
I like that he represents something in the physical world in Smash Brothers. He's not a video game character. He's a controller. He's the only controller you can play as.
That's right. There's no like N64 controller that you can
Although-
fight as.
Although arguably Duck Hunt falls a little bit into that category too, because he's a character that is also sort of like all the
But
Zapper
like
games.
Duck Hunt Dog was not the peripheral. Rob was the actual like. It'd be like if Zapper Gun. Duck
I,
Hunt.
Yeah.
I understand, but some of his moves are like there's the can from Hogan's Alley that
Uh-huh.
you're shooting.
Right.
I mean, it very much is like no, you're playing all of the Zapper games.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think both of these should be in our
I think
in our chaff
good
category.
I agree. I love that. I didn't even think you were gonna do this, but you're literally pulling the amiibos out of the line like we're doing dodgeball or something. We're like, no, you go. Like,
Look, there's,
love it.
there's too much here for us to not represent it visually.
I'm a
for
visual
just-
person.
Just the three of us in the room, because no one else can enjoy it. But it'll bring us joy. So,
All right. Rob.
and Duck Hunt Dog.
I
Gone.
would. You know what? Would we consider Pac-Man as the Namco family?
Oh, now that's interesting.
Because I don't think I think like the arcade games, like there's the Galaga Assist, there's the
Yeah.
Pac-Man level, there's like I think Namco. I kind of think that's like one thing,
Sure. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
but I also think it's chaff.
I think what makes it hard chaff is the Pac-Land.
Right? It's the worst.
It is the worst.
It's
stage.
hideous looking.
I actually kind of like.
No, you
that
don't,
stage.
Mark.
No.
I mean, it's not in my top. It's not in my top 10 or anything. But when it comes up when I'm playing random, I'm like, oh, this is dumb. Like, what a pleasant surprise.
Or go
is-
trip over some tree roots. You know? Like what the heck? Why is this here?
It is the only level that I will quit out of.
Yeah.
When I set up a match and I just go, nope.
See, okay, the one of the reasons I like it, and I agree, I totally agree that Pac-Man is
All right,
chaff.
Pac-Man, you're going
Like,
chaff.
I'm not arguing, but I'm not arguing that. But the thing I like about it is that it's such a weird part of video game history that it's representing, that it's pulling from.
Yeah.
That I like that it's included for that reason. Because how many kids born in the past 15 years have any idea what's going on?
They're
why?
playing Pac-Man Championship Edition DX.
I don't believe you.
Well, I do. Sorry, just as we're talking about Pac-Man, it's like occurring to me how much like Pac-Man still is in like stuff that I play now. Like obviously he's in Smash Ultimate. I just got done with Guacamelee 2, and there's a cool Pac-Man like Easter egg in there.
Oh, nice.
And Pac-Man is one of the playable characters in Street Fighter Cross Tekken Cross Street Fighter, whichever one was the one that actually came out. He's a character in that game. I'm not going anywhere with this other than to say there's a lot of Pac-Man in my life.
I get that. And he is kind of OG and stuff, but in terms of Smash, I don't think his contribution's been that much. And I also would say I would say that I feel like I'm gonna get some hate for this.
Going out on a limb and stating,
I think Kid Icarus.
Whoa!
I don't think Kid Icarus.
Whoa!
I know. I don't think Kid Icarus is in this is in the top 10.
All right, I'm not ready to get rid of Kid Icarus quite yet.
Okay.
And I think part of that is because even though Sakurai didn't create Kid Icarus, it seems like he has a lot of love for the series thanks to his work on Uprising.
Yeah.
And so I agree that maybe Kid Icarus isn't foundational to Smash, but I do think it at least has a prominent contribution nowadays.
Yeah, well, and especially because a lot of the, and this is me unfairly reaching back to a Smash Brothers that is not Smash Ultimate, but a lot of the like enemy types that would show up in Smash 4, just
right.
the sort of like generic, were characters lifted from Kid Icarus.
Yeah.
And also like Pit was dead and gone, and no one cared about him at all until Brawl.
It was Brawl.
Right, until Brawl brought him back, and they basically redesigned the character. And then I don't know if they were super excited about him, or I don't really remember. Like, were we excited about Pit at one point?
I know. I don't know. I don't think I was.
Wait, do you mean in the history of?
Yes, I mean
the world.
Yes, we as a people were we excited nerds. I mean, were we excited about Pit when he was introduced, or were we like, huh?
Oh, when he was introduced.
Yeah,
I feel like in Brawl, every single reveal was a huge deal.
It was.
But then like that became the character's new identity. So I almost maybe more feel like rather than it being Kid Icarus has big contributions to Smash, Smash has big contributions to Kid Icarus.
I think that's definitely
that's
true.
definitely accurate. I would say so.
If we're ever doing a ranking of what franchises contributed the most to Kid Icarus,
which we may,
Smash will be number 2.
All right. Another one that I am ready to just get rid of, no questions asked. Bayonetta. Don't care. Don't like it. Get it out of here. My personal feelings. I'm open to other suggestions.
Right, Matt?
Oh, man. I'm going to agree, but at the same time, I think I love the Bayonetta contributions. I think that the level, the Umbra level is cool. So sick. It's literally from the opening sequence of Bayonetta, when she's fighting all these crazy angels on that clock thing. It's literally pulled from that. I think that is such a great contribution to the game. It's such a fun level to fight on, especially in World of Light. I think it's just you literally
it is a fun level to fight on. I mean, I kind of want to put Bayonetta and Cloud in the same
category because other than just Cloud, there's not really Final Fantasy.
Yeah, there's
stuff.
there's the one Midgar level, and it sort of has its own weird assist trophies in the form of those summons, right?
Right.
But even still, and they're both cool, but I don't think either one is going to wind up in our top 10, 15, maybe even top 20.
Look, they're cool.
I agree.
We can argue how cool the characters are, but not.
I think they're cool.
But not. That's not what we're here to do today, gentlemen.
Right.
We're making the hard decisions. Oh my God, this is tough. They're just going into this loser pile.
I know. Speaking of losers, Patrick, do you have one you want to nominate before I?
Before you say Ice Climber, I'm going to say Ice Climber.
Oh, no. I just like the googly-eyed owl.
Yeah, we have a googly-eyed owl. Look, there is no Ice Climber amiibo at present.
It comes out February 14th on Valentine's Day.
I think that's right, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. And happy Valentine's Day to the Ice Climbers.
Yeah. But also they need to go because their level is weird. Their vertical scrolling level doesn't even appear in this one because
It's
they were
terrible.
like, this is too bad. Worse even than Pac-Land. It cannot be included. And the ice climbers themselves, well, adorable and like a fun novelty.
Mhm.
And who hasn't done an 8-player Smash with all ice climbers fighting against each other? That's
Yeah.
a good time.
That is a good time.
But I feel like that's it. They are at best a good time character.
I agree. I think they're just a good time. I totally agree with you on that one.
Oh yeah, you would
Yeah.
date them, but you'd never marry them.
That,
Yeah.
Mark, you understand.
All right, mine that I'm like the other one that I just want to banish out of existence is Mr. Game and Watch.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Get thee gone.
I mean, another one where the levels I really hate, and I don't know if he's added much.
And he's like
What else?
Rob, where like I don't want to play against him. I hate when he shows up in things.
This is an interesting perspective from you that I've never heard before. I just don't want to fight this character. I'm going to propose something radical, and we can dismiss it out of hand if we like.
Okay.
Since hold on, Wii U, there's a Wii U game,
Mm-hmm.
Game and Wario. It is basically WarioWare game that is Game & Watch-esque. Can we put Game & Watch in the Wario category?
Boo! No, I hate this.
Yeah,
Mark
I'm
hates
not-
it?
That's a dumb idea.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Matt.
You're very
for
welcome,
saying.
Mark. Yeah. Someone had to. I'm just kidding. Get out of here.
All right.
We're here to find the ultimate list. We don't have time for that.
All right, who else comes off this list?
Oh man.
The Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, I would say Street Fighter too, man. I would.
Even though we have 2 characters, I guess it's just the 1 level and like an assist trophy
And
after
some
that.
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that Guile assist trophy. Oh my gosh.
He's
a-
tough.
He's in World of Light is like one of the later ones, like towards the end.
I
He's
don't
just
think I've encountered him.
ridiculous. Even on easy, he's just so stupid. I'm like, what the heck?
The one great contribution from Street Fighter, that Guile theme music,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
so good.
Oh man, now that we're talking about it too, like I freaked out when I don't know if you guys got that in World of Light when you went to like the actual Street Fighter overworld map.
I haven't made it that far in this World of Light yet.
No, what? Wait, so what is
It's
it?
like when you go to the airport, like World of,
no!
and it like takes you. It's sick. I'm sorry if that was a spoiler, but it's like
No.
really cool. It's literally and it's all the music. It's like and you fight all the Street Fighter characters. Like
yeah.
it's really cool. I freaked out when.
Okay, well then let's hold off on Street Fighter. Let's leave
No,
it there.
no, no, no.
Come
no,
on!
No. Look, I think let's be real with ourselves. Anything that is a DLC edition,
Okay.
In the last version of Smash,
yeah, is like there's like no way that we can say that has the most important contribution if they were like, oh yeah, I guess also this guy. An afterthought. That's what I'm calling them.
well, let me ask you this: do you think that Street Fighter deserves to go out before Pikmin?
Maybe we just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
We haven't
Is
worked
there
our way
any-
down that list.
Yeah. I would say Pikmin holds more than Street Fighter.
More influence.
There's more.
On the series?
There's more like items. A lot more. There's like
that's true with the,
and
like,
there's-
the little ship and
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I
while
don't know.
we're mulling on it,
Yeah.
why don't I read an email from Dustin?
Okay,
Is he-
Dustin's email is comprehensive.
I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Okay.
Just because it is like
Thank you, Dustin.
very comprehensive. Yeah, thank you, Dustin. But so Dustin does a great job of breaking. He considers characters and he considers stages when deciding which franchise contributed the most.
Okay.
Within characters, a quantity factor, how many characters, quality factor, how excited is he to like use them,
Mhm.
iconic factor, novelty factor, and fun factor. And
Oh my
and then stages, he says, I'm sure this matters to someone, but I honestly don't care very much about the stages.
Wow. Do
So,
you feel
there we go.
attacked, Mark?
All right, so he in the quote, "You are lucky the term ultimate requires you to be here" category, he puts Mii's.
Mm.
Worst version of other characters that can be dressed up in a costume to try and convince us that you are adding more characters when you really aren't. I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
In the Meh Who Cares category, Bayonetta, Duck Hunt, Pac-Man, Rob, Metal Gear, Game & Watch, and Final Fantasy.
I think we actually. That's like we're on right on. And we didn't even.
know.
Metal Gear's not even on there.
We,
like,
I don't
we have
think.
not. Well, Metal Gear is here being represented by Zero Suit Samus.
Suit, yeah.
I think that is right though. I think we should take a cue from Dustin
I
here.
think Dustin is in
Yeah,
our minds
I
a
totally
little bit.
agree. I don't think. Sorry, Snake. Snake.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm happy that other people are happy you are here. In that category, he has Castlevania, Xenoblade, Animal Crossing, and Pikmin. Would miss you if you were gone. Street Fighter, Mega Man, Wii Fit, Sonic, WarioWare, Kid Icarus, Ice Climber, Yoshi, Donkey Kong. In the All Stars category, Earthbound, interesting. Star Fox, Metroid, Kirby, F-Zero, Pokemon, and Punch Out. And then the Mount Rushmore, his honorable mention is Mario. Bronze medal is Splatoon. Silver medal is Fire Emblem. And gold medal is Zelda. 3 versions of the same character because he is so awesome. An all-time villain. And Zelda as herself and as Sheik. This feels predictable to me, but I can't convince myself to put any other series above it.
Bold choices there. I think Matt and I made a face at each other at Splatoon being
Look.
on the Mount Rushmore.
Look, I'm a huge Splatoon. You know, I'll woo me all day long. You know, I freaking, I love Splatoon. I still play the crap out of it. In terms of Smash contributions, I don't think it has that much.
I mean, it's
it's
got
just
like
a character
and a stage.
And then a stage, and the stage isn't very good.
I know. I think this. I have not played Inkling Girl or Inkling Boy a ton, but I don't understand how to control that character.
Oh, I love it. It's like I'm trying to main it, and
Yeah.
it's very technical, and
Oh.
it's very like setting up traps and stuff like that, and I love it.
Oh, okay, yeah. For that reason, I'm sure I'd be terrible at it.
It is a character that I, to borrow a phrase from Mark, don't want to fight.
Yeah, yeah,
When it comes down at me with that roller,
yeah.
I just don't want it.
And once you learn how to cancel out of that roller and turn around and splat bomb them, it's like, or a smash attack, it's like,
Yeah,
woo,
then it's
staying
all
deadly.
over.
Yeah.
But I feel like Splatoon 2 is to Dustin as Xenoblade is to Isaac.
Yeah.
Where that's one where like is near and dear to their hearts.
Sure.
But
But
do
to their
you guys-
credit,
No, go ahead, Matt.
I think to his credit, think about the reveal trailer for Smash
Yeah.
and how it's centered around Inkling and how it was like a major selling point to Smash Ultimate was Inkling.
that's true. And we are saying we're trying to focus on Ultimate specifically.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that reveal was such a like freak out moment.
Yeah. You saw the Smash symbol. The Inkling got the Smash symbol in his eyes.
All right,
You know?
here's what I think we need to do. I think we need to make a like sort of haven category for these franchises that are obviously people's like sentimental favorites, right? That the ones that we can back up, right? If,
Okay.
if someone's like, well, I think Duck Hunt, then we'll be like, all right, well, get out of here with that. But Xenoblade and Splatoon, we put them now maybe into a haven category where we decide what to do with them at the end.
Well, what
But
about this?
They are safe.
What about
for
this
the
email
time being.
from listener Ark Itchel who says that he loves the Pac-Land level?
Okay, that is
Oh, no.
not
Oh, my.
an email. You just said your own name
We're not-
without the M's.
We don't want to hear troll mail, guys. We're looking for good mail emails. So I'm just kidding.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
If you
except
actually
Ark
love that
Itchel.
level, you can hang out with Mark and play it. So
What are we gonna do with what is the end goal of this category, Patrick?
I don't know. Just to
Okay.
not eliminate them probably until we have
I think that's fair.
what are
Sentimental
our
favorites.
obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel so
okay.
mean. Am I being too mean? I
No,
feel like this is
no,
making-
not at
this is
all.
making
We need
me-
it.
This is
We
turning me into
need
a
it.
monster.
Okay, so we're putting Inklings, Splatoon, and Xenoblade.
Right into the sentimental
Ooh,
favorites.
Xenoblade is so lucky. It's
Yeah.
Isaac's
Yeah.
sentimental favorite.
Yeah, Isaac, that's only there because of you, buddy. We should maybe go back to Street Fighter and
Oh, that's right.
Pikmin.
Yeah.
Do we put them in the thanks for submitting your application?
I
We'll
think
get
so.
I
back
think
to you.
I think
Pikmin
so.
for sure. If we're creating a sentimental category, I don't care, but do you two feel like Street Fighter should be in there?
I don't think so.
No,
I mean,
I'm gonna save my sentimental category
Yeah,
for something different.
same.
All right.
All right.
So long, Street Fighter. So long, Pikmin. All right, guys.
Now that we're narrowing this down,
yeah.
I'm getting real nervous.
I know.
I feel like my what I think it might change, but I'm still holding on to what I thought originally. But I'm seeing so many possibilities.
Are there any other obvious eliminations
Oh,
here?
I forgot that Mabel is actually Sonic. Sonic, he's gotta go.
Kick him to the
Sonic's
curb.
gotta go.
Uh,
He had his time in Brawl. It was a great reveal in
we
in
were
adventure
so
mode.
excited once.
Yeah. Well, actually, that Sonic brings up a great question, and we've kind of, I think, already got rid of a lot of the third-party characters. But do we feel like, in order to be the best, the most,
Yeah, the most like quintessential.
yeah,
Smash
that it has
Ultimate,
to be
yeah.
a Nintendo franchise?
I mean, I
Is
guess
that
it's
true?
kind of. I don't think it's like. I think it's just what we're kind of coming down to. I don't think we're
Yeah.
intentionally thinking that way.
I don't
but
think it's a rule handed down on high,
Yeah.
but I think it's a principle that we are discovering.
Well, because if we get rid of Sonic,
yeah,
we will have Castlevania and Mega Man. And is that the only third-party
I think so.
character remaining?
But I think Castlevania has a chance. I think Castlevania is a stronger than Sonic for sure.
I think it's Castlevania is hard because it was only introduced in Ultimate.
Yeah, but it's another like, super hype intro, 2 characters, one of the cooler new stages, maybe the coolest new
They
stage.
literally brought in Dracula as a bad guy,
Yeah.
like a boss.
Yeah,
The music is dope.
and there's a ton of it.
There's even a I don't want to keep spoiling World of Light. Well, there's for Castlevania fans, there's a really cool section.
Well, this is actually working great for me because I did not make it that far into World of Light
Yeah.
and had kind of just decided it wasn't for me. But you teasing all of these things, I'm like, oh, maybe I do need to
You know,
check this out.
The thing with
Like-
World of Light is like you don't need it to do it on hard. I did it, like I said, I did it halfway through hard, and then I changed it to easy because you don't get anything. I just wanted 100% and get the spirits and see the board. So if you just easy it, and then what I did is I just like I did Spring Man as my main, and then upped like physical punch attacks with Little Mac, and I just and you can update it where when you're charging your smash attack, if someone hits you, there's like a power up that allows you to not cancel that smash attack. So you take the hit and then just knock them out. I just did that over and over again. But the fights, it's, for anyone, like it's a grind, but like all the nods to all these games are really cool. Like
Yeah, it's a good place for like the history and
Yeah,
like of
yeah.
trying to be like clever about.
there's a
representing all
Geno
these
fight,
games.
dude, from freaking
From Mario RPG.
Yeah, and it's great. It literally had to fight Bowser, Mario, Kirby is Malo, Peach, and then you fight Sheik, who's Geno.
That's
That
really
sounds
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. That was my favorite fight.
All right, but let's take Sonic out of here.
Yeah, Sonic's
Sonic's gone. Okay, now that the last 2 third-party characters, Mega
Mega
Man and Castlevania. I guess those aren't characters; those are franchises.
Well, Mega Man's a character.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
What do we think here? So Mega Man is very close to being a sentimental favorite for me. I know there is not a ton of Mega Man stuff in here, but there are a couple of assist trophies. That Mega Man 2 level is awesome. That Yellow Devil is a pain in the butt, just as he is in every Mega Man game. And I just really like Mega Man.
Yeah, I feel like Mega Man is a good opportunity to remind ourselves that it's not just about who has like the most contribution, but like the contribution that we appreciate the most. And so I think while Mega Man doesn't hold this place for me, I could see how somebody would definitely consider it. Like Mega Man being added to Smash is a huge deal.
But Mega Man's from Smash 4.
Yeah.
And does the hype still live up to the new game? Like, does he, like, you know what I mean? I feel like he was very heavily centered on the last game.
Right. Great reveal trailer.
That's true.
This
He
is
was
awesome
one of the
reveal
big
trailer.
reveals
Yeah.
for Smash 4.
But
Right.
I don't know if in Ultimate he, like, I don't know, man. I love Mega Man. He's very sentimental to me. But I don't know if he.
I think, you know what? He's sentimental to me too. And I know we can make cases for Castlevania being like, but I think both of them I think we have to stop lying to ourselves
Yeah.
and say that it just has to be a Nintendo franchise.
Yeah.
The Nintendo franchises have to be in our top.
I think that's fair. They're leaving with dignity.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Castlevania's reveal was awesome. The World of Light section is incredible. There's a lot of love for that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing here that of the It's just Nintendo franchises that are left. Let's run them down real quick.
Okay.
So we've got the Me franchise, Punch-Out, Animal Crossing, Kid Icarus, Fire Emblem, F-Zero, Earthbound, Pokemon, Star Fox, Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Metroid, Yoshi, Kirby, Wario, and the Wii Fit.
I feel like we kind of, because the Mii fighters are represented by
An Octoling.
an Octoling, that would kind of escaped our eye, because there's no way
That the
that the Mii
Yeah.
fighters
The Mii
are.
fighters?
like-
yeah, I'm
All right, so,
yeah,
so
that-
long, Me Fighters, you're gone.
and I feel the same way about the Wii Fit trainer.
Right.
Although this is a delightful character
Mhm.
that I'm actually delighted to fight every time I have the opportunity, because it's so emblematic of Smash Brothers as a franchise, where they are able to take Wii Fit trainer and
Yeah.
make it into like a fighter who's fun to play, and like the levels are ridiculous and fun. Like, I really like Wii Fit trainer.
I do too. She's definitely got that like included as part of a dare kind of quality to her, where you're just like, what comment card was that a suggestion on? Like, put the Wii Fit trainer in there. But I think she's probably got to go.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think she's added much contribution to this game.
All right.
I don't even think there's many, like, on the Spirit board, there's not much, like, Wii Fit stuff, you know?
No.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. So we were saying that maybe around our top 15 is where we have to start actually ranking. We
Yeah.
currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. We did it. We've got exactly 15.
Wow.
I wonder if we should just stop right now. I don't know if we can
We
top
have
that.
This
to.
is going to be rough.
We have to figure
Oh,
this out.
my gosh.
Okay. Well, should I read another
Yeah, let's read another email.
So this one's from Lizzie. Lizzie says, I've spent some time thinking about what series has made the best contribution to Smash, and while I'm not absolutely certain of what is the best, I do have some suggestions. I would also like to recommend that you not consider certain series. I'm not going to lie, these are some of my favorite emails, the ones that are like, don't include this series. The
Yeah.
series is dumb. Okay. I'd like to establish my criteria for determining the best series contribution. I'm going based on feel. I love it, Lizzie.
okay.
I guess not by numbers and not by how much I like certain stages from certain series, but just by how the character contributes to the overall identity of the game. Lizzie, you should be here. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
That's right.
To start, I have a soft spot for characters who currently have more of an identity with Smash than their original game. So this is one maybe for sentimental favorites. Like Captain Falcon, for example. F-Zero doesn't really exist anymore, but Captain Falcon is still a well-known character, and I think that without Captain Falcon, you wouldn't truly have a Smash game. He's a classic, and I think that his series deserves to be considered.
That is a great point, and also it is worth pointing out that when we did our definitive list of the best fighter in Smash, which was obviously before Ultimate came out, we landed on Captain Falcon.
Another example would be Little Mac. Little Mac is this is Mark editorializing, but it's like a sentimental favorite for me for sure. Punch-Out isn't really a game anymore, but he has found a new home and life in Smash. I think he serves as a perfectly normal character. A lot of characters have magical abilities or magical backstories, but not Mac. He's just there to punch people. Also, the boxing ring stage is a good stage. I like
That's
that
a
you
good
can
stage.
bounce on
It
the
is a
ropes
good
and knock
stage.
down the rafters to damage people. It's a good stage.
His recovery's going to cost him.
Not on that stage, though.
That's true. On that stage, he's fine.
He's fine.
I think that Pokemon deserves to be considered not only because of the Pokemon on the roster, but also for all the assist trophies they provide.
Yep.
This is an almost endless source of assist trophies from Pokemon just due to their sheer numbers, and their inclusion and use as assist trophies makes perfect sense. They serve the same function in Smash as they do in their original series, and that just feels right. I don't know, it's extremely satisfying to see a Beware come out of a Pokeball and uppercut anyone who comes near him because, yeah, he would do that. That's what Pokemon do when you release them from the Pokeball. They fight for you. I would also like to humbly request that you do not consider the Fire Emblem series. This is the first time I think we've mentioned Fire Emblem, the series that shall not be named. While they have a lot of contributing characters, I think they hardly add anything. I know that a lot of people enjoy Fire Emblem. I am not one of them.
Wow.
But I don't
Yeah.
understand their appeal in Smash. My friend who does not play many video games was trying Smash Ultimate with me, and she referred to all the Fire Emblem characters as emo sword boys. Is that a point for it? I'm sorry, that's me editorializing again. I feel like that sums it up. They all feel the same. Most of them have swords. Most of them have the same anime look. I think they are uninspired and feel like filler characters to me. Please do not consider Fire Emblem as a good contributor to the series. Thank you, Lizzie.
I am 100% with Lizzie on that.
On the Fire Emblem side
I
of it?
think the Fire Emblem characters have always been kind of boring to me. They're all like, I think the games are great, but I think in Smash they literally to me feel like shadow fighters with like maybe one's a little faster, or maybe one has a better B attack or something. Like
yeah,
it's like,
and the whole thing about like Marth's sword attack is more powerful at the tip of his sword, and Roy's
Yeah.
is more powerful at the hilt. Where it's like, what? That's the distinction we're making.
but a lot of people use these characters. I can't
Yeah.
deny the fact that I agree with Lizzie on the personal front, but I can't deny that they have had a big influence not only in the Smash world but in like the Smash community, which is like I hate it, but I have to consider it.
No, it's totally true. Sorry, Patrick, but I cut you off. Go ahead and say what you're gonna
Oh,
say, and
so-
then I'll like read from some
I
listener
do,
mails about it.
I do think that like one of the primary aesthetics of Smash is that it puts like cute and or like cartoony characters into what appear to be like weird medieval like battlegrounds, and I think a lot of that aesthetic comes from Fire Emblem directly.
Yeah.
And like, we probably saw it for the first time in Melee, but like it has just sort of become part of the series DNA. And like the levels, the stages from Fire Emblem are also like super cool, and like they do stage shift before that was a thing. I don't know. I would be hard pressed to take Fire Emblem like out of the top 5.
Yeah,
even.
I definitely don't think we can discount it, especially at this stage. Even though I personally,
Hate
like don't care for it, but I will also say, in the same way, to my mind, anyways, the same way we were saying that Pit was kind of resurrected by the Smash franchise. I feel like for me at least, and I think a lot of people who were playing Smash Brothers in North America,
Yeah.
like when this Fire Emblem character was introduced to Melee,
Yeah.
and you're like, who is this dude? Like, I have no idea what this franchise is, and I feel like that's something that the Smash series is really, it's really cool that it does, is like introduce characters to and franchises to people who otherwise would not have been exposed to them.
I agree. I personally don't. I don't think that Fire Emblem. I didn't know Fire Emblem before Melee, and I think that I don't even know if they released the Fire Emblem games in America.
They
before
hadn't
that.
at
I
that
think
point.
like Melee brought that franchise to the States.
Yeah, and like, would Fire Emblem be what it is today, which is now kind of one of Nintendo's pillar franchises?
Yeah.
If he hadn't been introduced in Melee, I don't know that you could argue.
But is this one of
Then it
those
would.
games where is this one of the cases where that Smash helped that game, like Kid Icarus? Or is
I
it-
mean, I think that's definitely
I think
part
that's
of it.
definitely true, but this one feels a little more reciprocal than Kid
Yeah, I would
Icarus
agree with
did.
that.
Yeah.
There's also, it's hard to argue with the numbers that there are just so many Fire Emblem characters. And
Ugh.
well, I know that we're like
Ugh.
a lot of them are redundant. In fact, it's like all the sword guys.
If you're on
And then-
Battlefield, Patrick,
Yeah.
like they have the range and you can't break through. You can't break their attacks. They can stand in the middle and just spam juggling you.
Yeah.
In, like on Battlefield, and I get so annoyed. So frustrating.
Well, let's read some of what the listeners had to say.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem was not just mentioned by Lizzie, but other people are a little more kind to the series or vote for it as their number one. Joe wrote in saying that when I think about my favorite characters in Smash Brothers, I realize that I'm partial to dudes with swords. For that reason, that Fire Emblem is definitely this guy's series. For that reason, I'm voting for Fire Emblem as the franchise that has made the biggest contribution to the game. Ike and Marth are a couple of my favorites in the series, and I'm looking forward to experiencing the new Fire Emblem characters in Smash Ultimate. Nothing is quite as satisfying as sending someone flying with a big sword.
So that's sort of the opposite end of what you were saying. You don't like to be sent flying with a big sword.
Yeah. Stop juggling me. Stop it. Why can't I break through this?
One thing that I will say against Fire Emblem, I do think most of these franchises and most of the characters in Smash, one of the things I love about Smash is that it does a good job of making you feel like you are playing a game or like controlling a character from that series.
Yeah.
Like a Mario character feels like a Mario character. The Street Fighter characters feel like Street Fighter characters. There's no way that playing with a Fire Emblem character feels like playing Fire Emblem.
No way. It's a turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you would approximate
Yeah.
it, but I'm just saying it doesn't have that little spark of magic.
Yeah,
It's
I
true.
feel that.
It's interesting that they've been able to do that with, I think it's Shulk from Xenoblade. How
Yeah.
it has that like
It has the blades. Like you could transform into
Yeah.
the different
exactly.
stances.
Like, and that's kind of like a cool RPG-ish element that they've been able to like introduce to the character.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
thought was interesting. They haven't really even tried to do anything like that with
With Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem. Like they really are just dudes with swords.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get another email in here.
Oh,
Wait.
okay. So Jonathan wrote in, and he says, I think the Mario franchise is the easiest choice for Smash Brothers contribution. Number of characters, different play styles, brand recognition. Zelda would be number 2. I am a Fire Emblem fanboy, but I do feel like there are too many sword characters. I would love to see more diversity in future Fire Emblem Smash characters. We know there's going to be future Fire Emblem Smash characters. It's inevitable. That was me editorializing, not what Jonathan wrote in. Smash actually got me into playing Fire Emblem and not the other way
There you go.
around. Shout out to F-Zero because Captain Falcon is awesome. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah.
Second shout out to F-Zero.
And
So
a
far.
third one in here from Adam. He says, speaking of F-Zero, a franchise opening installment in terms of one unlockable character, Captain Falcon, definitively the best Smash character, or not now? Technically not.
Technically not, but it was at one point.
I have a fond memory of beating Smash 64 for the first time in the shadow outline and thinking the game isn't over yet, and the introduction of extra characters blew my mind. I've played F-Zero X and F-Zero GX, and thought they were okay racing games for the 64 and GameCube respectively. The way that they would give a character that much personality and to make a world that was never really explored in the franchise prior to its introduction into Smash was great. And then he puts Fire Emblem as his number 1. Says, I just like generally playing the characters. Whilst the overall goal of Smash is to take away from the generic fighting games such as Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, and Tekken, after playing the Fire Emblem game series, I felt an immensely strong connection to using the fighters on my return to Smash.
All right.
Okay, so there's some votes for and some votes against, and I feel like we internally are divided,
Yeah.
perhaps even within ourselves.
I mean, honestly, I don't feel that divided. If it were up to me, I would say goodbye to Fire Emblem.
Well, we're not saying goodbye to anyone at this point.
We have to rank them.
We have to rank these 15.
Oh, what have we done to
I don't
ourselves?
think
Okay.
I'm not a Fire Emblem guy, but I would say easily top 10 for Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Easily, probably top 5. But
Okay, well let's get these bottom 5.
Okay.
Okay. So Kid Icarus is still in here.
So
Right?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think at this point all the amiibo represent themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Agree.
So if I were to say my bottom 5,
Okay.
I'm going to say Animal Crossing. I would say Pit
Mm-hmm.
from Kid Icarus. I would say Earthbound. I would say Wario.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would say, I love Little Mac as a character, but I think he's safely in the bottom 5 contributions to Smash Brothers.
I think that's probably right. I would also nominate Kirby, or not Kirby, so much as Yoshi. When we separate Yoshi from the rest of the Mario herd, it feels like he offers less to the series.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I think this is pretty accurate. I would put Lil Mac over. I actually would put Lil Mac. I think Animal Crossing has more to contribute between Yoshi and Lil Mac.
Yeah. I think that's right.
I think Yoshi and Lil Mac could go bottom 5, and
put Animal
I
Crossing
think Villager is top 10. Like Animal Crossing is number 10. I would say.
I think you're right, and
Okay.
I think that's a really good point. And one thing I will say to like Yoshi's detriment is, like you were saying, Patrick. Once you remove him from the Mario franchise, I don't find any of his like stages particularly memorable or interesting. I don't.
But
like,
the happy tree. So happy.
And the music.
like you know, and like Yoshi's not a fighter that I'm either excited to play or play against.
Oh,
always nervous I'm
Yoshi's
gonna-
my main, dude.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I'm always afraid
Yoshi's
I'm
my
going to
main.
roll off the side of the stage.
Yeah. Yoshi's my main. Is a heavy hitter, man. I think he's a great fighter.
Okay, so the absolute bottom of the list here.
Yeah.
I think Villager and Animal Crossing at number 10, I think is right. Does the bottom of the list?
Or that'd be number 9. No, it's 10. That's 10.
Yeah,
That's
that would be 10.
Yeah.
So the bottom of the list, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah.
How do we think we rank these guys? Little Mac is probably the bottom of it, right? Or is Wario?
I was gonna say Wario.
Okay.
I think it's Wario. For me, my pick would be Wario, Pit, Lil Mac, then Yoshi, then Ness.
Just because Ness has been around long, or I guess he hasn't even been around longer. Like, why,
He's been-
I'm interested why Ness over Yoshi.
I think we're kind of overshadowing a lot of the things that Ness has to contribute. How many? Like he's got like 3 levels or something, 3 or 4 levels.
There are a lot of Earthbound levels and a second
another character.
Yeah,
another
Lucas.
character that we.
I mean, there are 3 Kid Icarus characters as well, though.
I mean, do we count Dark Pit as? I guess.
I just did.
I'm gonna say no to Kid Icarus because the Kid Icarus level is so daunting and I hate it. Why can't I just jump through these floors? Why do I have to break them? I hate it so much.
I agree with you. I don't like the level very much, but I play with Pit fairly often. Like I like Pit as a fighter, and I liked him in Brawl as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what we have the lineup right now is how I would put them, which is Wario at the bottom, then
Lil Mac,
yeah,
or
Punch
Punch
Out,
Out,
and then Kid Icarus, and then Yoshi, and then Earthbound.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I think Earthbound is correct beyond like the top side of that.
Yeah.
Because especially, or maybe just like the hardcore quote unquote players that I know, like a lot of them use Ness for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ness is like I was big into Ness, into that. And I think look, when it comes to Earthbound and Kid Icarus, they both have big, daunting levels, but nothing's worse than that stupid Kid Icarus level that is so big. Like, why would anyone?
So big.
Why do we want to fight on that? So yeah, that's how I would put it.
All right, so we got the Villager at the bottom of our top 10, representing Animal Crossing.
I think I agree with the 11 through 15. I kind of think Villager stands higher than Captain Falcon. Personally,
that's a hard sell for me, but I'll trade you a Captain Falcon for a Star Fox.
Now, hold on. What are you saying?
I would put...
Are you discounting the contributions of the items, like
the
bomb?
Okay, that's a good point.
And the ray gun? Is that Starbucks?
I associate it with.
The levels are fantastic. Corneria is a great level. Even the one in the wolf one is really cool.
I will say that the one thing about the Star Fox characters is that all 3 of them are pretty
similar.
Samey. Yeah. And there's kind of no reason for them to be like I guess we don't have any evidence of like how Fox would fight like by hand.
Yeah.
But like there's no reason that all 3 of them should fight the exact same way.
I agree.
Go ahead.
So we have we have 11 through 15 for sure, right?
Yeah, I think we feel pretty good about it.
Okay, so
I think I'm gonna put in for Villager over Captain Falcon.
Okay.
And even I'm gonna start with Captain Falcon. I think Villager, Animal Crossing has so much to contribute to Ultimate. Like not only do we have a new character, which was a crazy reveal, built a lot of hype. Like Isabelle is like a queen.
Yeah.
And she's great.
Yeah, and it's the way that they incorporate the movesets that makes you, like you said, it makes you feel like you're just playing Animal Crossing, and
which
it's very
is
trolling.
Insanity.
Yeah, it's insanity. I think that is a bonus for them. And they bring in other items and other games to their play style, such as Balloon Fight.
Yeah.
And I think it's just Balloon Fight. Right?
Yeah,
just Balloon Fight.
Yeah, as they're upbeat.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that they bring more to the table to a Smash game than F-Zero. Personally.
Well, can I make the following suggestion?
Yeah.
That as we did a sort of bottom 5, let's make like another class here
my
that's
God.
in the middle of the list.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the middle 5.
Okay.
But for my money, I think the conversation that we're having right now is about the following 4 series. F-Zero, Animal Crossing, Star Fox, and Donkey Kong. That they are like in Dignity, and it leaves the kind of final 6 to be debated.
I agree with you on this. 100%.
Yeah, I think you're
on
right.
that.
So for the listeners, the final 6 in that case would be Fire Emblem, Pokemon, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and Kirby.
Yes. So should we try to like do hard rankings on these middle 4 here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, who has the biggest contribution out of Donkey Kong, Animal Crossing, F-Zero, Star Fox?
DK.
You think so?
I think DK for sure.
Just because Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are such incredible characters.
And King K. Rool, man.
Oh, I
and
keep
that
forgetting
reveal.
about King
that
K.
reveal.
Rool.
You know, in Nintendo of America, their podcast, I couldn't believe this because I'm like, I don't know how it's possible, but their awards for video game awards that they dubbed out of Celeste, out of Primrose from Octopath, they dubbed, the fans voted for King K. Rool as the best character of 2018. Which
What?
I'm like, that's insane. That's insane. Like, he's not. How is that even? He's just a fighter. It doesn't make any sense to me. But he is a great fighter. That reveal was amazing. I think that was like a staple for me in like the Smash hype. And we got a super dope version of the Galleon song. The
the
Gangplank Galley
Well, actually, all of the Donkey Kong arrangements
are
are
fantastic.
great in this. Like the Sticker Bush Symphony.
Yeah.
Like the recording in Smash Brothers is the definitive recording of
Yeah.
that.
I would honestly say, outside of this conversation, that the best Nintendo score is the Donkey Kong Country series.
Including like Returns and Tropical Freeze.
I think it's
that's totally
fantastic.
true.
That and
Yeah,
Zelda would be like my top 2.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
think that is right.
Yeah.
I mean Mario Paint, of course, but
But I think DK is the number one in this top next 4.
I would agree with that, Mark. How are you feeling here?
I still personally want to flip Star Fox and Captain Falcon.
Now, make a case for why F-Zero is a bigger contributor. We're only talking one character here.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, but I feel oh man, maybe it's not so much. Truthfully, not so much that it's like a contribution to the franchise, but I actually kind of think it is. I think the fact that Captain Falcon had basically zero name recognition.
Yeah.
Before Smash Brothers, before like Smash Brothers 64, and Captain Falcon was like the OG unlockable character,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
you're like, oh, hey, this series, even way back in its nascent stage, was about video game history and was about like
Showing you
preserving
something,
and like
yeah.
showing you these characters that you are maybe not as familiar with and turning them into something cool and something that people like love and that can exist and continue to exist in people's minds outside of their own franchise.
Yeah.
So, like somebody who's never played an F-Zero game can still know and appreciate Captain Falcon. And I think that is what Smash Brothers is about. And
It's the toys in the trophy room and
it's
stuff.
like, video
re-
game history and just like bringing these
Yeah.
franchises together and making people excited about something they've never experienced before. Like, I think that is really impressive. And the fact that Captain Falcon has gone from like basically a no name in a dead franchise to a foundational character in Smash Brothers, who is even making it into our top like 15 out of all the bigger franchises that continue to exist. I think that says a lot about Captain Falcon.
I also think that the stages are great. The like 16-bit Mode 7 F-Zero stage
Yeah.
is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And just like hopping around on those cars, which always look cool. Yeah,
Ooh.
I don't know. Here's the thing is, I really like Star Fox too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Star Fox is great. He's making it into our he'd be
Top 10. Yeah, he
yeah,
would be
he'd
number
make it
10.
into our
Yeah.
like top 10. That is very dignified.
I can live with what we have right now. Matt, how do you feel?
I
You
mean,
think the Villager should be higher for Animal Crossing?
like if we're gonna, if this is the ranking system, if this is where we are, if this is
what
Star
do you mean
Fox,
if this is
sorry, if it's Star Fox, then Villager, then Captain Falcon, I would put Villager in front of Captain Falcon.
Mark, what say you?
I think Villager. I think Animal Crossing. Just there's it's so much Animal Crossing love in this game.
Here's another thing about Animal Crossing and how it relates to Smash. Animal Crossing is all about getting stuff, right? It's all about like collecting and having everything like to your heart's content. And this game is packed with stuff. We say goodbye to trophies, but instead we have spirits, right?
Yeah.
And so like the part of the gameplay loop of Animal Crossing, get stuff, is present in this game.
There is. Even like there's a Timmy and Tommy store.
There you go.
You know?
You
There's
need
a
to have
Timmy
that
and Tommy
amiibo.
store.
but-
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I just think that Animal Crossing added a lot to Smash Ultimate, especially with Isabelle. Like there was a lot of Isabelle love, and I think it's right now it's like, and if we're talking just Ultimate, I think it's
Mhm.
higher than Captain Falcon.
I think that's fair, and I think that's a good compromise because Falcon will still be in front of Fox, which for some reason I have a real vendetta.
Yeah,
for
I don't.
now,
Where's this
so,
coming from?
like-
They're
Mark?
both the OG like
Yeah.
speedy heavy hitters, you know?
All right. So
Okay, I think I'm good with this.
Okay, that brings us to our top 6. Mark, do you have another email for us?
Sure, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is from Greg Smith, friend of the show.
Yep. Hey, Greg.
He says, "Hello. I've been thinking about this for a minute and have an answer. It's the Kirby franchise. With just 3 characters, the Kirbyverse establishes a consistent baseline of movement and attack styles while featuring appealing differences. Depending on how you like your fighter, the Kirbyverse offers you 3 perfect choices: fast and sharp, slow and powerful, and appealingly balanced. It is, without question, the perfect franchise showing in Smash Brothers. If you say any other franchise on the eventual episode, I will encourage folks to unsubscribe and give you bad reviews and ratings.
I miss
Thank
you,
you
Greg.
for your time."
I haven't seen Greg in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Greg
Yeah.
too.
He's got a, you know what? He's got a really good point. And if we're talking to Smash Ultimate, Kirby is the GOAT. He's the one who's
Right.
bringing back peace to the world of light. He is the one who escaped, who's giving everyone a fighting chance. And boy, like those levels are pretty great. Like Fountain of Dreams is still like a crazy.
Fountain of Dreams is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, and that score, oh,
The score is great. I also think there's just a lot of, you know how like at the end of every Kirby game there's like something grotesque and
Yeah.
horrifying that you're like, how are you putting this in this adorable world? I feel like Smash does that too.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously, this is a lot of, we're getting it from Masahiro Sakurai, that he is responsible for Smash. He is also responsible for Kirby. So, like, it makes sense that the 2 series. This is one where I couldn't point one direction or the other. Does Kirby feed Smash? Does Smash feed Kirby? They are constantly inhaling each other and absorbing each other's
As
power.
it should be.
As it should be.
The other thing I'll say for Kirby, and I'm sure that he's a very good fighter in all of the other games, but this is the first time, for whatever reason, when like when you first start Ultimate and you have the original characters to choose from, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. Kirby was my go-to.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that I really have appreciated Kirby as a fighter in a really long time. I think he's a really like well-balanced character in addition to being able to steal everybody else's like powers.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that makes Kirby like all of the whole series all by himself.
Yeah. I would say to me, Kirby's top 5. I think he's number 3.
You think he's number 3?
I don't think he's the number 1, but I think he's pretty dang close.
Matt, I think it's time that you reveal
Yeah.
what you've
it
been
seems
sitting
like you
on
have a
for an
very
hour.
s-
Because
very specific.
you came in here saying, I know what number 1 is. I would love to know what you think number 1 is.
All right. I honestly think that the number 1 video game franchise influenced in Smash Ultimate, I'm going to say is Pokemon. I think it's Pokemon. I think Pokemon is easily number 1 or 2. I think there's so much that went into Pokemon. We have another Pokemon fighter. We think we have almost a Pokemon fighter from every generation. Outside
have a
of that, we have assist trophies. We have multiple levels. I think Pokemon is heavily influenced, and people like forget about it because we're just so. I think there's just so much Pokemon that we don't realize that like there's so much Pokemon.
Yeah,
There's
and
so
like
much.
all of those Poke Stadiums too that like
Yeah.
have all of these crazy features to them, and like the levels change, and
Yeah.
Pokemon, mythical Pokemon appear on the stage and like flip things around and drop swords and whatever.
And to me, Pokemon is like kind of what Smash is about. it's about fighting. It's about like sending in your best and like going to like toe to toe with an opponent. Like Pokemon, I think is the representation of Smash. I think it's number one.
You think it's number one?
It's not my favorite characters to play as, but I think in terms of influence for this game, I think Pokemon. I think is the sleeper. I honestly do.
I would also say that even if it's not like your favorite characters to play as, for me there are a lot of Pokemon that I do like to play as.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for a lot of people. That there are a lot of like high ranking characters for them. And the more high-ranking characters than there even are from most of the other series,
Yeah, I think even more than Kirby, which Greg makes a great point that it does have 3 distinct fighters with very different styles. I feel like Pokemon is even more so.
Oh, you have basically a fighter for every kind of fight style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a sword. I guess Greninja kind of is like
He's
your
pretty
speedster,
close,
like,
yeah.
yeah. But you have like your heavies, you have your your middle, you have your speedy. Like it's just it's such a well balanced franchise in the Smash universe. I don't know. I think it's
Plus it's got
so good.
the Pokemon Trainer too, which like
Mhm.
gets to have this other little X factor in it of being 3 different Pokemon that you switch
Yeah.
between. It's the only character like that.
Yeah, and they bring back the Silph Coat level from 64.
Yeah, which is
a great
awesome.
level.
I love how
Um,
crappy it looks.
I'm legitimately surprised that no one thought about that Pokemon. No one said that, and I'm surprised about that.
I think
Well,
Mark is
Pokemon-
holding back.
Pokemon is on people's list. It just wasn't necessarily like Pokemon was on Lizzie's list. Pokemon is on Adam's list, not as number 1, but as number 3.
Okay.
And Adam talks a lot about like the variety as being a big selling point. Specifically, the different amount of movesets and play styles needed from a player of the Pokemon franchise requires a great amount of skill to use all of the Pokemon characters in Smash effectively. Apart from Pokemon Stadium, this was my first interaction with 3D Pokemon, and I loved it. Pikachu was originally OP, but thankfully was nerfed. Not thankfully, Adam. You have that wrong. there must be a word missing in here. In future iterations, and the Pokemon added in further games were all true to the source material in terms of movesets, etc. Were just overall cool and fun to use. So people definitely mentioned Pokemon as like one being up there.
I think I have my top 5 or
Yeah,
top 6.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear.
I think I have it, dude. I think
Yeah.
this is mine.
Okay,
and, it's gonna upset some people. We're at that point where,
We're breaking hearts.
yeah. I'm not a mean guy. I swear. This is all my opinion. I think it goes.
But it could be definitive.
It
as
could
well.
be. I think it goes number 6, Metroid. Then I think number 5, Fire Emblem. Then number 4 is See, this one's where I'm torn because I
So,
think
yeah.
Kirby deserves 3,
Mm.
and I think Pokemon is 1 for me. And between, I think I would. I think I'm gonna go Zelda as number 2. Mario's number 4.
Okay.
Or no, flip it. I think it. Yeah. maybe Kirby is a little bit further back than I thought. No, that's how I want it. That is how I want it. That's mine.
Okay, so
There it is.
Matt's got it with
This is tough.
Metroid at number 6, Fire Emblem 5, Zelda 4, Kirby 3, Mario 2, Pokemon 1. I would put Metroid further up this list, especially in this game where we're finally getting more. I guess they split Samus and Zero Suit Samus in the previous version,
We get Ridley.
but then we also get Ridley and we get Dark Samus as like a slightly
yeah.
different character. And like I love the Metroid levels. I think they're super cool to fight in, and like I don't know, there's a level of maturity that Metroid brings that kind of no other nothing else represented here does, except for maybe like Metal Gear. Metroid is one of my favorite franchises ever. I think I would have it up. I think I would have Metroid in my in the number 3 spot. Move Kirby down to 4. God, I'm gonna put Mario at number 5 and Zelda at number 2, Pokemon at number 1.
So walking into night, Zelda was my pick for number 1. That was the one that I was kind of like, if it came down to it, that's my overall pick. But the more that we've like discussed the merits of the different characters, like Fire Emblem, I was again like Matt, like I don't particularly care for the characters. I don't like fighting them. I don't like fighting as them. I was very it was an easy dismissal for me. But I think just based on the conversation we've had and the people who wrote in, I do agree that Fire Emblem deserves to be up here. And I'm kind of really swayed by the Kirby argument. Like, I would put Kirby personally. I would switch Pokemon and Kirby.
Whoa.
Like,
Whoa.
yeah, like I would put Kirby in number 1, and not just because I'm scared of Greg.
I'm not afraid of you, Greg.
Now the fact that you bring it up though
But I
makes me think that
saying
you're
I'm
scared
not.
of Greg. I think you're probably scared of Greg.
I mean,
Let's-
this is interesting. This
let's
is interesting.
Let's lock in Fire
I
Emblem.
think Fire Emblem's
at,
a
at
good
number
6.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So our top 5, and maybe this should come as no surprise, in some order, is Pokemon, Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, Mario. Now, part of me wants to leave Mario at number 5, just out of like, if he's in the top 5, I feel like we did our due diligence.
Mhm.
Mario is high enough. I love Mario, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think Ultimate was Mario's game. I think Mario had his time. I think he had his time in Brawl and Subspace Emissary. I think that was like, his big kind of like, this is like him reuniting the forces.
Yeah.
And I think this isn't Mario's game. Granted, when we're talking Mario, we are talking about Luigi's Mansion. We are talking about
We didn't even talk about whether Luigi should be a different franchise. Let's start over.
Well, I completely agree with you, Matt. I think Mario, the Ultimate is not Mario's game. I also think that the last few contributions that the Mario franchise has made to Smash are fine, but they're not very exciting. Like initially,
Well,
when
I love Rosalina,
I mean,
so I know you're just looking right past my feelings on this one.
like initially when it was revealed, the kind of like Super Mario Brothers World 1-1 stage, I was really excited about. Like, that's such a cool idea, but in practice, it's not very much fun.
No.
It's also like a weird, like drab, rundown.
The design of it is very strange.
It feels like Mario's like the Godfather in this game. I don't think it's like if you even look at the actual story of it, Mario, it focuses on him getting captured. Like Kirby has to save the day. Mario, like,
Yeah, he's kind of put like in the front of all of those bad versions of the Smash characters, right? Where it's like, now you have to fight Mario and everyone else.
Yeah. I there is a huge selection of Mario music, though.
Yeah.
There is a lot that Mario contributes, but to me, if we're talking the most influential franchise in Ultimate, I don't think this is his game.
And to that point, should Fire Emblem be above Mario?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
I honestly don't think so, because they have made Bowser into a really awesome character in this one, and because we have such a great, huge selection and several Mario levels that are much better than the Fire Emblem
And
levels.
you're getting Daisy this time.
You're getting
and,
Daisy
like,
this time,
Yeah.
and we're also we're going to get a Piranha Plant shortly.
Mhm.
And since we didn't break it down in like granular levels, we're Dr. Mario is part of this. Mario Kart is part of this. So.
Yeah,
okay.
But
and
Mario needs to be
between between Fire Emblem and Mario, like the Mario fighters are all like, different, and they're
Except
not
for Mario and Dr. Mario.
yeah. I don't know. That's where I stand. I think Mario's safe there. Not saying that Mario, like, I think he's had his time.
Yeah.
Not saying that he's not discrediting any work he did
Look,
to get
we
us
love
here.
Mario.
Yes, exactly. Guys, I'm not a bad guy, I swear. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
I would put Pokemon next. Well, ugh.
This is where hearts will be broken. We have to determine the ranking. Kirby, Metroid, Zelda, and Pokemon.
Okay, here's my pitch for putting Zelda next after Mario. Is that Zelda is awesome. We all love Zelda. All right, let's just get that out of the way.
Standard disclaimer
Yeah,
for all of these series.
Yeah, the music is, great. The stages, for the most part, are fun. I will say that even though it contributes a lot of characters, there are lots of variations on Link.
Yeah, they're
know?
pretty big variations, though.
They're very different, but there are lots of characters in the Zelda universe that, like, why not get a Happy Mask Salesman?
Give me a Happy Mask Salesman. Give me a Daruk.
Ooh, yeah.
Come
oh,
on.
Daruk would be a
Like,
dope
why
fighter.
not give like
All the
champions,
champions.
like give me like a Rivali,
Oh my
Oh my
god!
God,
Oh
that'd
my
be
god!
right?
amazing.
Like I feel like
If they put out a version of Smash that is just the 4 champions, Link and Zelda, I would buy it.
Me too.
so it's not that the stuff that is in there isn't good. It's just that I'm a little bit like underwhelmed by it. Like I'm on board for more Zelda stuff, but I'm ready for it to be something different from a franchise that has so like Tetra. Like there's like so much
Yeah, I
they
hear
could
that.
pull from, and I feel like it's been a little bit like limited in its focus, even though the breadth is there. So that's kind of why like I don't feel like it contributes anything especially to Ultimate.
I do think that Ultimate is where Zelda, and actually this is true for Metroid as well, where both of those series are the most well represented they've been in Smash. That they have just a whole host of levels by that point, and sure, it's 3 different versions of Samus. Sure, it's 3 different versions of Link.
Yeah.
But like we're actually seeing these big games represented in a way that they should be and should always have been.
You know what? Now that we've talked about it more, I think that Zelda franchise is in the same boat as Mario. We're like, this isn't Zelda's game. This isn't
interesting.
Link's game. I even felt like the reveals of the updated skins and the updated fighting styles that were for Link were like that they made for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I felt were very underwhelming. And I think that those 2 franchises, this was not their time. This is a game for the ones that were big. Like I think the top 3 are Kirby, Pokemon, and Metroid. I think Link or Zelda should be number 4.
All right, let's do it.
Personally,
I
just I love it, but I like Mark said, I don't think there wasn't much contribution added to Ultimate to make it feel any excitement. There was no breath of the wild.
Yeah,
No.
I think this is Zelda. The Zelda franchise is a good distinction that we're making here between like the most contribution and like the best contribution, because there is a lot of Zelda content and it's good, but I don't think it's like the best that Ultimate has to offer.
Yeah.
Which is why I would at least put Metroid next, because like in 3rd place. In fact, I feel like Metroid might be a little high if we're talking about Ultimate specifically. Other than Ridley,
I mean,
what are we and like Dark Samus, but like whatever.
I think I also think that Metroid's a little high on the list, excuse me. But the thing that like Ridley was a huge reveal. Ridley was something that people. Ridley was something that people have been wanting from Smash since like Melee,
and we've been expressly told that we could not have.
Yeah, so to me, it's
like
a little
parent who just being like, no, we can't.
I think that just the fact that you can play as Ridley and Ridley has his own amiibo, I think it justifies Metroid being in the top 5. I don't think it's 1 or 2. At all.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that like the Ridley reveal, while like entertaining, was kind of, to my mind, overshadowed by the King K. Rool reveal because
that was at the beginning,
and because like Ridley had been like requested for so long that when it was finally given to us, it was like it just kind of felt like we already knew it was coming.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
Oh, interesting.
Like it felt like
I kind of felt the opposite. That like we'd been told so many times, this character specifically, you can't get him, and here's why: he's too big. And then they're just like, well,
I know, isn't that kind of disappointing?
No.
No, see, to me, it like the fact that they were
sorry.
like,
no, Mark, you're not disappointed in that.
Well, I'm not, because I didn't feel strongly one way or the other. I just think it's like, after all this time being like, no, and here's the reason why, it feels like such a like fan servicey thing to be like, we'll do it anyways. But clearly my heart's not really in it, because if I wanted to do this, I would have done it a long time ago. But you like whiny babies won't stop like tweeting at me about it.
But that's what Smash is fan service. It's a game that's made up of
It's the fan service that you don't know you want.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, we eliminated all those characters. I would be happy putting Samus at number 3. If we then just need to figure out what happens with Kirby and Pokemon.
I mean, I'd like to hear your argument, like why you think Metroid should be so high.
I think I've made the argument a couple times, but
I wasn't listening.
I'm
just
all
kidding.
right, let's play the tape back. I mean, other than when we say that this isn't Mario's game, this isn't Zelda's game, I do think that it is Metroid's game, and a lot of that is from the Ridley reveal and from I know this is from the previous version, but splitting Zero Suit Samus from regular Samus and giving us an Echo Fighter in the form of Dark Samus. I think this is the first time where Metroid is really presented as a franchise and not just like a character.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm
cool with that being 3.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Mark,
nobody
are
can
you-
say I'm wiping
are you
away
okay?
a tear right now.
Oh boy, I'm cool with Metroid being 3 because it was a lot that we got that we've been asking for, but I don't think it's number 1. But I think it deserves the top 3.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd ever try to make a case for it as number 1. I also don't know that I would actively make the case for number 3, but I don't see anything wrong with what we have below it right now. Like, this reflects my feelings.
Yeah, I definitely, especially after what you just said, I think it makes much more sense. We were talking about that Mario and Zelda, it's not their game. Metroid does have meaningful contribution to Ultimate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew.
Kirby and Pokemon.
Well, speaking of whose game is it, I think there's a strong argument that it's Kirby's game.
Yeah, I mean, there is just so much Pokemon stuff in this game, though.
But a lot of it is like inherited, although I guess that's true of Kirby as well.
Yeah. Like all of the Kirby stuff is inherited. There is no new Kirby content in this game.
Well, World of Light.
Interesting.
Mm.
Is World of Light a Kirby game?
I mean, I think Kirby is your main character. At least initially.
This is tough.
This is hard.
This is tough.
See, here's the thing. I don't think it is that hard.
You think it's just
think it's
just
Kirby?
Kirby?
I think it's like, to my mind, I think it's pretty clearly Kirby for all the reasons we said that it's not Mario, Zelda, or Samus or Metroid.
How you feeling here, Matt?
I'm torn. Mark's got a really good point. And yes, World of Light is it is basically a Kirby game. But like, I just don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of everything, I'm trying to think of all the possibilities maybe we haven't thought of, but
I will say it's interesting in the listener mail, nobody ranked other than Greg Smith, who I am not scared of.
I still don't believe that.
Nobody mentioned Kirby that highly. Yeah.
Where does Dustin put Kirby?
Oh, great question. Dustin puts Kirby in...
And where does he put Pokemon? This may come down to Dustin.
I think we'll have to do a vote on it, but they're both in All-Stars, so
Okay.
not helpful.
All right.
Kirby says his note for Kirby is the perfect entry point for someone new to the game.
agreed.
And for Pokemon, may have a few too many at this point.
Oh,
like a
Oh,
negative.
interesting.
But the top level quality is still there, even if all of them don't reach that peak. I think we might need to vote on it, guys.
All right. Okay.
Wait,
so
do we Shulk and Inkling, they're just in our favorite, right?
They're
not
even in our
it's
favorite.
Okay, cool.
They're
Cool. They're not in the top 15, right? All right, cool. I totally forgot about those
They're
guys.
not even top 17. They're just
Yeah.
like special mention.
They're Ani mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna have to vote. Which
I think we're gonna have
which
to
means
vote.
we're gonna count down
Oh
from
my
3.
Gosh.
3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna say which franchise is gonna be our number 1, and however this shakes out, That's going to be what we go with.
Definitively.
Definitively.
Also, we're still friends.
Right. That's that's another
Oh
part
my
of it.
God.
Are you
I'm
ready?
I just gotta take in everything that we discussed. I gotta think about this.
I know. I might throw up. All right.
Okay.
Are you ready, guys?
I'm ready.
You know what? I think I got it. Yeah, I got it.
I don't have an answer. I'm going to empty my mind,
Yeah.
and whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. 3, 2, 1. Kirby. It is unanimous. Kirby is our number one, the franchise that contributes the most to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's run down the list. Or we'll run up it from 15. Starting at number 15, Wario.
Wah! Wah!
Number 14 is Punch Out. Number 13 is Kid Icarus. Number 12 is Yoshi. 11 is Earthbound. 10 is Star Fox. 9 is F-Zero. 8 is Animal Crossing. 9 is Donkey Kong. I went the wrong way with 7. 7 is Donkey Kong. 6 is Fire Emblem. I was so proud of myself. Number 5 is Mario. Number 4 is Zelda. Number 3 is Metroid. Number 2 is Pokemon. And number 1 is Kirby.
Guys,
We did it.
really think we did it.
I think we did it.
It's a really
And
good
the
list.
more I thought about Kirby, like, like, it is World of Light is a Kirby game. Even where it gets to the fact that you're dealing with these forces of darkness and light,
Yeah.
and like the way it ends is very It's very Kirby. It is
Yeah.
so Kirby. It is straight up pulled from it. So you're absolutely right. That was a great point.
And I think it is important at this juncture to just let Greg Smith know that he can't control us. I know what it
it's
looks
not.
like.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of you, Greg.
Yeah, we're not afraid of you, Greg. If we put Kirby at number 1, but like if you want to fight us, like let's fight. Let's do it. Matt, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you guys. This is an absolute blast, man. I love this. Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to plug at this time?
Yeah, guys, you can come follow me. This is everywhere at the Matt Acevedo, Acevedo. Come hang out, come talk things. And I also have a podcast with Christian Humes called the Ultimate Fictional Character Podcast, where we kind of do something like we did here, where we pull randomly from a bucket each week, and we have a huge bucket of names, and we fight those characters against each other to see who's the ultimate fictional character, not just who could win in a fight, but who is like a better influential character. So you can find that at UFC Pod on Twitter and on there's the iTunes and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good show.
Oh, thanks, man. You guys gotta come on it.
We should, and
yeah,
we
would
will.
love that.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you guys.
So that's how that goes. Those are our rankings. We did it, and it's definitive, and I'm very proud of that list. It was very emotional. We were all weeping at one point. Again, this is back to just Patrick here. Mark's not with me right now, but I did want to convey, our deepest thank yous to everyone who wrote in. It means a lot to us when y'all participate in this sort of thing. Some of you didn't, and if you have a bone to pick with us now because of how we ranked things, Kirby's very high, the top, some would say. If you've got a bone to pick with us about that or anything else, you can email us. Again, I cannot say the email address without Mark present. It just doesn't feel right. It would be a sin, right? I believe that's carved into a tablet somewhere that thou shalt not say the name of your podcast email address without your co-host present. That's just, it's something I believe, and I'll thank you for not making fun of me for it. But we would love to get your emails to let us know how we did on that list. I think we came up with a good one, but who knows? All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, please rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff on Apple Podcasts. If you like the episode, share it on Facebook or Twitter. It doesn't matter how many followers you have or how annoying you think you're being to your friends. That helps us out tremendously. It's almost literally the only way people can find us. On Twitter, I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell, and the show is at NinCart Society. The Facebook page is just Nintendo Cartridge Society. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, who is not present in the room as I record this, thanks for listening.
Perrin, host of Do the Damn Thing, the podcast that is all about inspiring and motivating you to do the damn thing, whatever your thing may be. Whether it's asking for a raise at work, training for a marathon, finally getting your house organized, or pursuing your passion project, this show will provide you with real-world, tangible tips and inspiration to get you off the couch and on your way to trying something new, facing your fears, or realizing your dreams. Tune in each Thursday on Campfire Media or look for it in your favorite listening app.
Campfire.